Okay, so YouTube, Comcast, T-Mobile. So we're just working on ways how to purchase vehicles, and this is pretty much just working on the way we practice how to own more for a better process, and being able to know more about having more technology and subscriptions towards what we like in the common area of 1998 to 2018. So just pretty much looking at the urban day of iTunes and Comcast and Spotify. Looking at the details between the website and the radio station. So it's just pretty much just looking at the payment options that gets paid, as far as knowing tax references from bill notes, and understanding more about yellow, green, and blue situations as you have your options offered to you. So it's pretty much being able to see more of your points that make the points analysis as you look for 76 24 20s, and 76 24 hundreds at that time. So it's pretty much as you want to start slower as you get, just so you don't miss the quadriceptives of what makes the point. So just pretty much where we like to have 20s instead, since it's a 1976 thing. And 1976 lasts for a long time, just because it was a special year, just because it was a New Year investment, and it had President's Day and Memorial Day in it of its own unique history at the time. So that's pretty much where we wanted things to stop. We would have debated and demanded that to stop. So that's just a presidential election right there. So it's pretty much the presidential candidates get that, and that's part of their federation. So it's pretty much as we learn more about that and world cultures of world geography. And other than that, we are working with the governor's position. So other than that, it's pretty much all about the governor, and working on the governor. And other than my part, I'm working on more of the voters registration parts, where you're working with at least 976 votes going towards 941 gallons of juice, milk, water, of Aquafina, as we are always dying for hydration at the time. And we will always love sub components of hydration of yellow, orange, and green propositions and programs and subscriptions. So it's pretty much using your everyday average of a business, and being able to promote more for the intuitive language of the personification, as you get more towards the economy versus the mechanical engineering of the detail, and more towards the artificial or the associated co-assistants that get devised to you. So that's pretty much what you're using on the average day balance of knowing the difference between one Challenger, three Challenger, 363 Challenger, and 963 Challenger, as you look more towards ecourb747 and PMC2 squared, and Enterprise Holdings at that time, Enterprise Interscopes at that time. So it's pretty much as you're looking at my preview of how I preview my selection of oppositions of yellow, red, and orange propositions of ownership. So it's just pretty much looking at the Dodge Charger or the Chrysler 300, or even a Challenger at the time. So it's pretty much looking at those depositions, as far as it being more prominent towards populated balances. That's at least 98,000. So you should be making $9,800 to $98 on them. At least that's the lowest you can get paid on a Challenger. So it's pretty much as I work with those types of mechanisms in our enterprise Interscopes foundation tool. So that starts 99.74. That started 2000 of 2074. So that's pretty much where he wanted to be able to make a bigger impulsion towards how to drive a car that has a standard economy to it. So it's pretty much where you're using an urbanized individual rate of how to take care of your investment. So it's working on 971% of intuitive acknowledgments at the hour. So that however it works, you're working with 972% of the time, with 19 cars or with 363 cars. You're working with 943 hours always instead. So it's always safer if you look at majority of the cars, and you work on your little particular group of cars during the month, and it's pretty much as you working with your visits, and working with your your arrivals at the time. So it's pretty much where you're using more towards cleaning in the car, and getting it back towards its proper manners. So it's pretty much where you're looking at a group of these moguls, and being able to know more about what their common salvatry is, as their common sense and commonwealth elevates and promotes more towards sufficiencies at the time. So it's pretty much where you gotta look at more towards positive enhancements at the time. So is being able to make more than average at the time. So you want to be able to be like Sam's at the time if you're thinking about Enterprise Maxima or Challenger, or even the Charger at the time. So it's pretty much working with those details under $97.52 of trans tax, or of complete deposit. And it's pretty much where you're using the company's characteristics at the time. So it's pretty much where you're using your own individual profile to make more towards your 3752 performance of your individual interior. So it's pretty much where you're using that at, and being able to know more about $624 of your total balance that you could have when you need to move, or when you have to move. So it's being able to look at lunch, gas, paying for the mechanism, paying for a hotel for one night, and getting back on the flight and going back home. So that's already a 3.1 gig. That's already what you need to do to have one night of success at South by Southwest Industries and stuff like that. When you go to live events and stuff like that after you leave home in 2009 to 2049. So it's pretty much using 1929 with 2029 of Spain versus Italy and orange, green, and blue statistics. So that's pretty much where you're using 29,996 catfish strips at a time. So it's pretty much using that from February 19th to December 15th, and discovering a whole deposit of 976% of catfish being stored at the time. So it's pretty much where you're using that detail and promoting more for the extras that you had at the time.